I did a 100 lap endurance race, and let's just say it was absolute chaos. To make matters worse, I was driving against fast locals and people with much more experience than me, but with that aside, I still believe that I can stand on the podium at the end of the event. The karts I'm driving here today are Evo 3rd generation karts, which have a 200cc engine and have a boost button to help overtake drivers. If you're enjoying my content and want to see more, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and don't forget to put notifications on so you'll never miss a video. With 12 people on track, can I come out on top? Let's find out. There was actually no qualifying for this endurance race, so I had to pick my starting position out of a cup, and I actually managed to get P7, which is right in the center of all the action, which is going to bring some pretty good content, but it was pretty chaotic at the start. Anyways, without further ado, let's start this race. Now the punishment for me being right in the center is that I get sandwiched, and as I start I absolutely get destroyed from the back of my car and the front. As we're going up the ramp, there's two drivers on either side. I try to give them both enough space, but the driver on my left gets a better drive. Thankfully though, I have that inside line as I was on the outside of the final corner. So now I'm up into P6 and just fighting through the field. After a couple of laps, I keep up these drivers ahead of me, and the person in P4 goes extremely defensive, and that actually allows me to go alongside the person in P5. As we're continuing to go down the straight, I go for the switchback, and it's a bit poor from me. I force him wide, and I actually manage to hold it on till the rest of the corner. Now we're up to P5, and we're just flying through this field. As I'm coming up towards the ramp, I get an extremely good exit, and I just send it down the inside. He didn't see me coming, but I had to match aggression with aggression, and I got it done. I'm getting really held up by these two drivers ahead of me who are battling, and I know I'm faster than them, so I just send it down the inside, and I managed to get the overtake done. It's a bit messy and scrappy, but I hold it on until the inside, and now I'm up into P3. From P7 to P3 in less than 10 laps, I was really impressed with myself. After the next following laps, I'm alongside this driver in P2. I send it down the inside here and get it done, but I don't go defensive on the straight and I keep to the racing line. The driver goes on my inside and actually manages to hold it, and unfortunately it goes to red flags and I have to go up the ramp to avoid hitting the driver in front of me. And it goes to green and I get a much better start, and I get a little light tap on the left side of my car, which actually slows me down and he's able to get away. As I'm half the weight of most drivers here, I'm able to catch up so quickly on the straight, and I overtake him and send it down the inside. It's not over yet though, because he gets a really good exit and goes around the outside and overtakes me. And now I have a lot of work to do because there's pressure behind me too. Last time I made contact with this driver just at this spot, so I lift off a bit and go for exit speed, and I actually managed to do that and I send it, and this time I go ultra defensive and stay to the inside of the track. This driver comes alongside me by that inside line and close the gap, and I manage to confirm the move, and now it goes to red lights. As I'm going on down the straight, there's actually a driver on my inside who I actually did not see, and they send it down the inside and get the overtake done. Now I have to follow their line, but I'm finding it hard because my car has a lot of understeer, which slows me down on the final corner and this corner coming down the ramp. So it's really hard to overtake this driver as I'm going much wider than they are. But here I actually get a decent exit and almost go for the move, but I'm a bit too far back and I'm just trying to stay right next to them. But their car is much more powerful on the ramps and I just can't keep up with this driver. I've actually caught up to some lap traffic, and as we're going down this straight, it goes to 3 abreast, and I have that inside line and I just go for it and send it. I get squeezed a lot, but I managed to hold it on. I was a bit angry when I was driving because I didn't get enough space, but it's all okay. I managed to overtake both those drivers. Now everyone in this race has to do a mandatory pit stop where you have to change your car, as quick as possible and jump back in. Now, as I was going down this ramp, my car felt really strange. It was like losing power for some reason. I thought nothing much, but as we go up this ramp, it completely cuts out and the engine dies and I'm stuck on this ramp. Now, thankfully, I did not get rammed into the back of my car and I lost all the power in my car, probably because it wasn't charged to max. Thankfully, the marshal reset my car and I was able to get to the pits just about. I jumped in the car and I go away and they still red flagged the session. So I basically got a free pit stop without losing a lap. Unlike everyone else though, they lost a lap. So I was in a pretty big advantage. Now after a few laps where my tyres got heated, I was able to catch up to some back markers. And now driving with back markers is not the best as you lose a lot of time, but I managed to complete it as quick as possible, overtaking one driver. And I see these two drivers ahead of me battling it out, so I'm going to try and catch them as quick as possible. They both go wide here and I'm able to catch up and now I'm alongside both of them. Now I was thinking of going all the way around the outside but there wasn't enough space. I give them a gentle tap on the back of the car and I'm just trying my best to overtake. But I just feel so much understeer and as I'm turning this corner I hit the barriers and I actually collided the car behind me. The straight line speed on this car was pretty good. However the cornering was awful as here I just lose a lot of speed as I have a lot of understeer and a bit of oversteer. It's really annoying, so I have to lock the brakes and turn and it's quite hard to do. As I'm going through this corner and out onto the straight, there's two karts who just send it down the inside, and since my car is awful at cornering, I lose 3 positions and these 3 karts unlap me. The driver ahead of me was actually in 4th, which I didn't realise. Thankfully though, I re-overtook him. Now as we go down this ramp, I'm trying to keep in touch with this driver ahead of me. He has a lot of understeer and so do I, but my straight line speed on this car was absolutely amazing and I just sent it down the inside and got the move done. However, as I'm turning through this corner I get a little bump on my back, but I'm okay. Now at the end of this session, the track record was broken and it was absolutely crazy. The normal track record in the winter was held at 22.505. But someone today had broken it and it became 22.499. It was absolutely crazy and it was really good to see someone break the time because that track record had been there for almost a year. Now as I catch up to this lap traffic, I send it down the inside here since most of the time these drivers go wide there so they could get a better drive down this ramp. Now as I'm turning through this corner, I see the 2 drivers ahead of me battling it out, so I don't really want to make too much contact with them. Now going down the ramp, I was trying to go around the outside, but the person in first overtakes me and then the driver again tries overtaking me. Thankfully I'm on the inside and I just follow this driver ahead of me through. As we turn into this corner, I fix the understeer by locking up the brakes. This was really helpful and I was actually able to hold on to some people, but the driver in first used the boost button down the straight and almost sends it down the inside. As we go down the straight, I use my boost button and catch back up. Unfortunately, the session goes to red flags. Thankfully though, it goes back to green and we overtake a driver. Here though, the driver first uses the boost button and absolutely smashes past this driver ahead of me. And now I'm trying to overtake this driver, but he holds that inside line and defends. I was going to send it, but I'm just too far back and there's no point. And as I go up here, he goes a bit defensive too. So he brakes here and I managed to hold on. I'm getting really held up and I've lost about 4 seconds to the driver in first. And going down this ramp, I send it down the inside. He doesn't give me much space, but I managed to pass through. And now I hold this inside line going down the straight. The session goes to red flags and unfortunately there's only 2 minutes left and the driver in third is 2 seconds behind. It goes back to green and I'm just praying that I don't make a mistake or I make contact with anybody. Thankfully though, the 2 minutes are up and I come third overall in the session. The reason I came third was just because the driver behind me got more points in the race than I did, as they overtook this car with a Santa hat on more than I did. So thankfully I didn't get 4th or 5th, but I got 3rd. P7 to P3, I was really impressed with myself, and hopefully next time I can push for the win. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and don't forget to put notifications on, and I'll see you guys next time.